Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing this time? One Piece Odyssey. One Piece Odyssey is a 2023 role-playing game developed by ILCA and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. It came out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Series X and S on January 13th, 2023. Like I said, it is a role-playing single-player game following One Piece. And you're probably, if you know anime or watched any sort of anime, you'll know what One Piece is. That's pretty much a hugely popular and large anime that I think, even if I know for myself I haven't watched One Piece, but I know what it is, right? That's how big it is. It's kind of like Dragon Ball in that sense. I've watched Dragon Ball, but if you've never watched it before, you know who Goku and you know what Dragon Ball is, right? Same thing with One Piece. So this is just a One Piece based off the anime role-playing game. And so we're going to go around and see what everybody thinks of this game. Pat, what did you think of One Piece Odyssey?
I will have to start this review out by saying that I know hardly anything about One Piece. I've tried to watch it in the past, but there's just too many damn episodes, and the first season is pretty rough on the eyes, for me anyway, being graphic snob. So I'm coming at this from somebody who doesn't know One Piece, except for generalized information. So it's Bandai Namco. They seem to have the same template for just about anything. And in case you didn't know, ILCA is like majority owned by Bandai Namco. So the actual owner, or the actual ICLA, owns less than half of the shares of the company. So Bandai Namco, it to me, it seems just like another Bandai Namco game. The art looks the same. It just looks the same. It kind of feels the same. It's a true JRPG, except for you don't have a whole lot of control over your stats outside of, socketing in some what they call accessories. This game needs some quality of life things, but it's a turn-based JRPG. I don't know what else I can really say about that. And it leans heavy on the RP. And it's missing something that modern RPGs have had for the longest time, and that's auto-progressed text. What the hell, Bandai? How the hell do you create a JRPG that just doesn't auto-progress the text or auto-progress the audio? Because there's like cutscenes and then there's like mini cutscenes. I don't know how else to explain them, but like primary cutscenes are like watching a full animated short, and then there's these mini cutscenes which the party's talking back and forth, and it's fully voiced, but you have to progress the chat. They'll finish saying what they're going to say, and they'll just sit there with a dumb look on their face until you hit the button to go to next. That is the most asinine thing ever because it extends the gameplay while you're going. I'm often in those cutscenes, I'm half paying attention, right? I'm like listening to what they're saying, but then I'm also checking email or doing something dumb. And I'm like, next thing I know, I look up and I'm like, oh crap, hit the A button. So the game lets you automate a lot of things in there, but it doesn't let you auto progress the cutscene chat. I don't get that. So that's a quality of life thing they need to fix. Thank goodness Nick gave me a couple other hints to get started on it when he started. I would highly recommend that you run with auto battling because it does get a little tedious, and the AI is pretty good at auto battling. I only turned it off ever for boss fights just because I found that I spent too much time cycling through the perfect person to go against the perfect enemy because it's a rock, paper, scissors type combat. It's just that triangle of power, technical, and I can't remember what the other one is, but there's three of them in a triangle. So the big love triangle, and I would imagine anybody who's a fan of One Piece and who likes JRPGs, this is going to be right up your alley. I mean, it's a pretty good JRPG. I mean, I've already put quite a bit of time in there, made it to like level 34 or something stupid like that. And mostly through chapter 4. I have a real big problem with shinies, and there's a lot of side crap to do in this game. So you're going to get sidetracked often if you're that same type of person I am. So like I said, my biggest complaint is the non-auto progressing of the chat when you're chatting amongst your party or when there's cutscenes. And in JRPGs, holy hell, there's a lot of cutscenes and back and forth. So that's what they're. And then don't forget to don't forget to go in and turn in your objectives. There's objectives that just pop up on your screen. And I was like wondering the longest time, what the hell are the objectives? Well, if you go under your quest, there's like an objectives section. I didn't realize that until I was done with chapter 3. And I went in and I'm like, oh my God, except to complete all of these. And I just had a random flooding of materials and money and all that kind of crap. And I'm like, wow, missed that boat. So, tons of fun like that. I find character switching to be, when you're out and about in the world, to be very, very pain in the ass, because it's not like I could just hit the button and it goes to the next character and cycles through them. I have to hit an arrow button to left or right, and then it pops up the menu to select my character, because you will swap pretty often if you're listening to your team, because the character that can detect gold will pop up and be like, hey, there's money, and you got to swap over to them because they're the only one that can see money. Or there's rare mats, and the guy pops up and says, oh, something over there, and he's the only one that can see the rare mats, and you cycle to him, and then you have to cycle to the slingshot guy, Giuseppe or whatever, so that he could shoot the stuff out of the things, and then you got to cycle over to the guy who Zorro, who can slice through metal and containers and doors, and I'm like, holy hell, Batman, and then there's a little tiny hole, you got to cycle over to the little short deer guy, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, and he can go into the little hole. So, lots of little quality of life things this game needs, in my opinion. But Shane, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts on this game?
I know probably a butt hair more about the series than you do, so we're in that boat together. I don't like this game near as much as you. I quite frankly do not like the combat setup of it at all. I think the world is nice looking. It's clean. It's sparse. That's the biggest problem with that. Character designs are really nice. I mean, Luffy looks like Luffy. I'm glad they didn't go with the Jump Force art style with the characters, that they were going for that pseudo realism thing. It was weird. But this game is not for me. I like a good JRPG. I do not like this one. I don't like the rock, paper, scissors, especially that. I don't like the way the world is set up for you to explore, the way you were talking about changing characters over. It reminded me of Legos, any Lego game. Every Lego game is this character can do this character can do this, but you got to swap in and out of those characters to be able to do certain things. Do not like that. To me, it takes me out of the game. It's bland. There's nothing about this game that I've enjoyed. Now the character models of the enemies are adorable. I'll say that much. That's about it. Even some of the bosses are kind of neat, but I can't get into anything else about this game. I wished it was in English. That's a hit and miss for me, because I don't know the Japanese voice actors, so it's harder for me to get into. If it was any other series that I was into, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Chainsaw Man, something like that, I could listen to either or and be fine. But this one, it didn't work well for me. Usopp, voice actor for it, was really just annoying. Not Japanese Goku annoying, but it was pretty annoying. The gameplay was just boring for me. I didn't like the way not the attachments, the accessories. I didn't like that. There's just so much of it I couldn't get into.
Comparing accessories was horrible. You have to X over to your inventory and be like, okay, he's got 4 accessories. This one's that, and you're like, oh, then X back over, and you're like, oh crap, I lost my page. Where was I at? Go back through there. So that accessory comparison needs work too. I would agree.
Yes. And, one of the things that really angered me, and I knew it at the very beginning, it had one of those typical game tropes where you start a game and you are Billy Badass. You have everything and you have all these powers and equipment and all that stuff. And as soon as I realized I'm starting at level 41, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew exactly how I was going to feel, and I was completely right. I was so freaking angry that the way they did it, it's stupid. I don't want to say exactly what it was because it's a part of the game and I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say this much. If you like me, you're going to be pissed. So even though it's pretty clear what's happening, but it's not for me. I don't like I don't like the combat portion of it. I don't care for the voice acting because I don't know the Japanese actors. So the world and the characters are the best part. I think the One Piece character designs are all fantastic. I mean, Luffy is fine, but you know, you look at the hot anime characters like Nami. Then you got Frankie, that big dude with the robot monkey arm things going on. I like those characters, but I just don't like the game. And that breaks my heart because I really wanted to like it because I wanted a good JRPG. Hopefully, the next one we play will be better. But for this one, it's a letdown and it saddens me. So it doesn't get no peace for me. Nick, what about you?
No peas.
No peace.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you, Shane. I'm not a fan of it either. And I love JRPGs. One of the weird things about this game that I also talked to the guys about at the very beginning was turning on auto run. This game's got a weird running system in it where it starts you out by default. Your guy runs like he's running through molasses when you start out, which is the walk mode, right? And then to run, you have to click in the stick and it auto runs you, which is, I don't know why you would want an auto run because there's too many. I mean, there are some areas that have stretches of land, so I can understand that. But but most areas are windy roads that you're not going to be able to shoot a straight path to auto run to. But in the options, you can turn on auto run or something like that, where basically, as soon as you move the stick and move your character is in a running mode. Basically, it turns sprint on. It's pretty much what it does. So I don't know why that's not on by default because you don't want to walk the entire time. And again, walking it doesn't seem like normal walking. It almost feels like your character's moving through molasses. They're just slowly going through. Yeah, I don't know. I wish this game was in English. It depends on the type of game and whether or not I don't mind it being in Japanese or if I would rather have it in English. A JRPG and RPG in general, I'd rather have in English. The reason why is because there's a lot going on the screen as well as the text at the bottom of the screen, and it's odd because anime I don't mind watching in Japanese and reading subtitles. And for some reason, I can seem to see the anime and read the subtitles at the same time. When it comes to video games that are subtitled only, where I have to read the subtitles with Japanese characters talking, my eyes seem to just stare at the text at the bottom of the screen, and I don't really pay attention to what's going on in the scene. And so I'm just going through there, clicking through the buttons, reading what's down below. And I don't like that, right? I mean, that might just be a me thing. Who knows? But for some reason, when I play video games, I just tend to do that. So I wish it was in English. Not because the Japanese voice actors are bad or anything. Like Shane says, I can't connect them to any other, series or anything like that. I don't watch as much anime as these guys do, but I can't connect it to any series. I've never watched One Piece. I know about it, but I probably know the least about it from these two guys. If you were to collect us together, who knows the least? It'd be me. The character models and stuff, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever it is. It's One Piece. It's just weird looking. I mean, even the hot anime characters, as you say, Shane, have goofy faces. Everyone has a really goofy face in One Piece.
Don't you knock Nami.
Goofy face. I'm sorry. She looks like a sucker with the stick, but the stick's got boobs on it and it's got a face and like the neck with the face there's like everybody has a skinny neck and a giant head and giant eyeballs, and the animator, whoever animates the series and stuff, has something with teeth because everything's got giant teeth, like the walruses, the penguins, the people. It's like really weird. But anyway, whatever. It's your style, you do you, right? So that I don't mind that at all. But the one thing that bugs me the most is, or I guess two things, is combat. I think the combat in this game is too easy. I don't mind the rock, paper, scissors type thing, but I never had a combat scenario in the game where I felt like, I'm against the ropes, right? I felt like I can easily get through this with no problem.
Get through chapter 3 and then it gets harder.
Yeah.
So it does, because the end boss of chapter 3 about wrung me out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So far, the game hasn't been difficult, but I wish that also besides combat, I don't mind the rock, paper, scissors portion. That's pretty, you have the speed, technique, and power. So, that's the rock, paper, scissors portion of it. The thing I don't like about that, I don't mind that. The thing I don't like about it is having to flip people in and out all constantly through battle. I think that takes, I don't know. I just wish maybe if characters had the ability to do those different techniques with their skills and stuff, right? Like if those techniques were set to skills or various things of that nature and not necessarily the architecture of the character, maybe that'd be better. I'm not sure what would be better there, but maybe that would be better. But the other thing as well, besides combat, is how much this game takes away control from the player. That's my biggest gripe. Probably the biggest gripe for me with this game is how much the game takes away control. And what I mean by that is seems to be a lot of times in this game where you'll have a cutscene or some sort of dialogue talking. It'll give you control back. You'll move 2 steps and it'll stop you again to take control away from the player and do another cutscene talking or some sort of whatever. Right. And then it gives you control back. Then you're like, okay, I'm going up this. Oh, and it does it again. It's just like, how often is this game going to take control away from me? Like, do these things, I don't know, space them out better, or just do them without taking control away from me. Because I feel like I start to play the game and then you just take control back and start telling me stories about things. What I really wish, though, and being that I don't know One Piece, I really wish this was, and I understand it's whatever they decide to do. I really wish this was like a story of how Luffy, the beginnings, right? Dragon Ball does this all the time. I mean, every Dragon Ball is the same damn beginning story of how, Kakarot came to Earth and that whole thing and the tournaments and everything. Like every freaking game is that way. Like it would have been awesome if this one, because I think One Piece Odyssey, I don't know, it seems to be a little bit before it came out, it seemed to have a little bit more hype behind it than maybe previous One Pieces games. I don't know. I just heard more about One Piece Odyssey than I did previous One Piece games, it seemed like. And so I was hoping maybe it was a retelling of the story, and not, it does go through the memories, right? So you do get to see parts, but without watching the show, you really don't know, like, remember that time and in such and such place? Like, no, I've never seen the show. I think Pat's right, though. I think people who have watched the show and watched through the series will definitely enjoy going through these different scenarios and seeing the times where they went to the Sand Kingdom and the Wind Fortress and whatever else, the Thunderdome and all that stuff. So
that was Mad Max.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wrong game.
But the problem with that, sorry, Pat, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say the problem with that is this game is geared towards One Piece fans. It truly is. It's not held back really for new people like us that don't know the series that well. The show's been on 20 years or something like that. I mean, it's been on forever today. And Pat, I believe the other day you said they had a butt ton of games for One Piece. So, you can't keep killing Uncle Ben at the beginning of every Spider-Man, just like you can't keep giving Kakarot his origin story in every game. Eventually, you got to stop doing that. So, I wish they would have.
Tell that to Dragon Ball then, because
I know every freaking
every game has
one.
been that.
Yeah, Uncle Goku's grandpa is the Uncle Ben of the Dragon Ball world. I mean, he is killed in every freaking game. So, but they need, if they should have geared this a little more towards new people, though. I think, far as the story goes, I think they could have done a little bit more explanation of the characters, because every character is unique and they have their own abilities. Why does Luffy, why does he stretch like that? They should have done something like that. I mean, I know. I mean, he ate the fruit. I can't remember what the fruit was
They
called.
talk about it in the game.
But yeah, but they don't, that'd have been better, like just kind of not origin, but more of just a, like a character telling, like, something that describes each character and their abilities. Like, why is Nami just running around with a, bikini top on? What's her power? I mean, I want just some character explanations, because every character is weird and they're different and they're unique, and that's one thing I think everybody likes about the game, the series. But for new people, explain to me, why Luffy is the human condom. He can stretch and stretch and stretch and punch things across the street and all that. That's me.
Well, like I said, they explained it in the show a little bit, or in the game, I should say. In the game, they explain a little bit why each person has their power, a little bit. But so, like I said, my biggest complaints are, I agree with you. It should have been in English, because having to sit there, and I have the same problem as Nick. I'm like trying to keep up with the story. There's no auto progress text. That drives me absolutely bonkers. And then the whole open world, sometimes not. How the hell do I tell if it's open world time, or how the hell do I tell if I'm supposed to just beeline the story? That part drives me nuts, because there's so many times I'm like, oh, what's that over there? Boom, sorry, you can't access that right now. And it turns you back around. Oh, we need to go save what's her face, or we need to go do this. And I'm like, when the hell am I going to get to go back over there? And I keep trying, and I waste so much time every time I finish a little segment that I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this way and go check out that little beach I saw over there in the beginning. And it's like, nope, turn around, can't go that way. I'm like, crap, run a little bit more, come back. I'm like, no, you can't. So I wasted so much back and forth, so I didn't forget what was over there that I wanted to go check out. There's a lot of exploration in this game. So to me, the combat is oversimplified, and running auto battle. I ran auto battle all the time. All I did was typically set it up in the beginning to make sure nobody was on the downside of the rock, paper, scissors. And then I hit auto battle, and it seemed to do a better job of conserving TP and keeping that stuff up than I did. So I just let it do its thing. Yeah, it needs to be in English. It needs to have auto advanced text, and it needs to give some type of prompt to where I can or I cannot explore the open world, because drove me so much bonkers especially in the prologue. It's like, okay, no, you can't go explore anything. You just stay on this narrow path. If you ever deviate from it, we're just going to reset you back on the path and tell you, no, not yet, not now, and even the whole game does that stuff, like I'm thoroughly into chapter 4, and I'm hitting sections of the story where it's like, no, you can't go over there yet. Don't go that way. Don't look behind that curtain yet. Don't, so that type of stuff bothers me. So the combat, I don't mind as much, because as Nick said, there is the rock, paper, scissors, but there's also characters have abilities to do things that, just because the monster's strong against their attack, they may be weak against their status ailment. So sometimes I'm hitting them with that ability and putting the status on them because they're weak against it, so, and you can do a lot of damage with some status elements and downed abilities and stuff like that, such as down attack, down defense, all that kind of stuff. So, I think anybody who likes JRPGs and who was a fan of One Piece will love this. I'm just a little lost, because I don't watch the show. I've tried to watch season 1 more times than I can count, but I just can't get past the graphics of the day. So,
yeah, but they were amazing when they came out 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, it was like they have 56 games and like 1,000 and some odd episodes, 1,050 or 1,040, somewhere between there, episodes of the show. So 1,000 some odd episodes, 50 some odd games, evens about out.
Nick, I can't believe you've never played one. You play every game.
Nope, never played a One Piece game. I'm sure a lot of them retell the story. So like you guys said, I bet this one, or, like Shane said, especially, I'm sure this one's geared more towards the people that know One Piece, and we're looking for a new One Piece game. And like Pat said, if you're a fan of JRPGs and you're a fan of One Piece, especially, I think you'll find this. If you're a fan of just JRPGs, this may not be up your alley. There's definitely a lot better JRPGs out there that you can find. So this is not like one of the best JRPGs. So, but it is a JRPG. But I think if you're a fan of both One Piece and you know the story, you know the episodes, you see maybe the entire anime or a good portion of it, and you like JRPGs, this is probably right up your alley, and you're probably going to really enjoy playing through this. So I would say if you're a fan of those things, should you pick it up at full price? You probably already did if you're a fan. If you're not a fan, maybe wait till it goes on sale. You know, if you like maybe One Piece but not big into JRPGs or vice versa, you know, maybe wait for it to go on sale if you don't like one or the other type of scenario, One Piece or JRPGs. Because at least on sale, at least you'll know, hey, if it's good or not, right? And I think they do have a demo out there. So if you are on the fence, you can go check the demo out and see if maybe this is to your liking. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you've played the game or maybe you've played the demo, let us know down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of the game? And what do you think of, or in One Piece in general? Like, are you a big fan of the One Piece anime? Maybe, if you played this game and you've watched One Piece, let us know, like, what do you think? What do you think of the game? Like, does it do justice to the anime, right? It seems very closely related to what the anime looks like as far as that goes and the characters and everything. But again, I've never watched the anime, so I can't really say too much about it. But let us know down in the comments below what you think. Other than that, thank you for watching, everybody. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And other than that, we'll see you next time.
See ya.